I'm holding a hammer and I want to hit a nail, I would be able to hinge my wrist. I wouldn't be under, I wouldn't be over, I'd be where I could functionally lever and release the golf club. At a right angle, you bring your right hand up like you're going to shoot a pistol, finger on the trigger guard, shoulders, and I rotate. I'm rotating my shoulders to the axis of my spine. And then all I have to do is clear that out, same way. So many people have ingrained patterns that don't let them get into that position. You can't find that position from a bad position, right?
Yep.
So the organization, how do I think about it? I call it the swing chain. The golf swing is a chain reaction, right? Yep. And the swing chain is, first link is the setup, which is GPS, grip, posture, stance. You know, that brings me to something that I think is really important. So most amateurs walk into a golf shot, what's the first thing you do? Plant their feet.
Plant their feet.
Their stance.
Yep.
Well, if I happen to stand 1 inch closer to the ball and then 1 inch or 2 inches further the next time, something else has got to change. So I never want to ever take my stance first. So what I always teach people, the grip. Let's talk about the grip. They're like, hold the club down here instead of up here. But the problem with that is when people do that, where's the arm? The arm's rotated. Automatically, they're rotating under, right? They're doing, it's called external rotation. I don't want to have my arm facing this way. And then I see someone go, oh, you got a weak grip, you need a strong grip. And then they rotate their whole shoulder, right? Instead of just find a natural position. Now, the right hand, and this is the key. So once you start here, get the club up and set the club at least at a, say, 120 degree angle, 90, whatever. But have an angle because that helps form your trail hand, because if the club is down here, it's easy to go under, right, and have a poor grip. That's virtually impossible if you set an angle with the shaft. You're not going to go this way. Your hand won't fit, right? So if I go this way, right, have it hinge, lay it in my fingers, get that lifeline behind the thumb, then I show people, look, if you got a good grip, you should be able to do this all day long. You know, I'm holding a hammer and I want to hit a nail, I would be able to hinge my wrist. I wouldn't be under, I wouldn't be over, I'd be where I could functionally lever and release the golf club.
And that's one thing that was big for me. Look at the leverage I have. It's the same as right here.
There's the angle.
There's 90. There's that 120 Todd talks about.
Draw the right hand up. And sometimes I tell people this, like, imagine you're going to shoot a pistol, right? So if I was going to shoot a pistol, I would have a little crease in my wrist. I wouldn't be flat-wristed. I wouldn't have flexion. I would have extension. Extension means extending your hand backward, so there's a little crease there. You'd also be taught to not put your finger on the trigger, which means you'd bend this knuckle. You'd put your finger on the trigger guard, which means that knuckle's not bent. Your only bend is at the first knuckle. There on the trigger guard, so that's a really good way to shape your hand. If you've got the club at a right angle, you bring your right hand up like you're going to shoot a pistol, finger on the trigger guard, and then lay that right hand where that palm tucks in behind the thumb like you've done so well. Now, and then you check it. I got leverage, right? Now I could slam this club into the ground, right? And therefore when I rotate back, I can hinge it properly, and if I can hinge it properly, I can release it properly. So that's the way I approach grip. Now, posture. What's good posture? So if I stand here like this is crappy posture, and we all fight that, right? We're driving, we're at computers, we're at bad posture, and so it's easy to get, we can't afford to get shorter, can we?
Right, no,
right?
Not us.
So anyway, roll your shoulders back and down, right? I'm not asking you to get like this, but I'm just good posture, right? Get the pressure off your lungs. Most amateurs, the ball's on the ground, so the first thing to do is they look down. They're already in bad posture because they're looking at the ball. If you look down, you will not bend at the hips. So I teach people to get the club up here, get their hands up here, good posture, plug in. That means simply there's electric plugs on my biceps, wall sockets on my ribcage, plug in. And I like the right, like you talk about, I like that right a little more plugged in than the left, okay? And then step on one foot and learn to bend at the hips. Most amateurs drop at the neck and shoulders. They don't bend at the hips. And posture is angle of your spine in relation to the ground. Well, if I'm set up like this, club on my shoulders, and I rotate, I'm rotating my shoulders to the axis of my spine. And then all I have to do is clear that out, same way. So if I start out with a bad posture, I can't make that rotation. So I I go lead hand, trail hand, set my posture, good, step, tilt. Now I'm ready for my stance. I walk in on one foot, my trail foot, set the club down, then I adjust left, I adjust right. And all I tell people is be an athlete. Find the place where you feel like you could push off the ground. If you plug in and tilt, you won't step too close because you'll feel like I'm off balance, I'm on my heels. Too far, I'm on my toes. So just find your grip, set your posture, build your stance, and the cool thing is that works with every golf club.
Talk me through it.
Okay, so you're ready. So we're just talking about really organizing your golf swing because as we know, you got a bad grip, you're gonna have a bad takeaway. You got a bad posture, you're gonna have a bad takeaway. You gotta, you gotta be in the right setup. So get in a good setup, right? So let's get our grip, hinge, right hand, got the trigger, right? Plug in.
I know I like
Left,
a
right.
lot. I love the keep the eyes up, let the tilt.
Yeah.
Have you look down.
That's I always tell people,
Oh,
look at the ball
so
from the
good.
hips.
Yes.
Because most people look at the ball
What a
before
great
they
way
do
to
anything.
say that.
Right?
Look at the ball from your hips. Watch this, guys.
Right.
Watch my eyes here. Not going to go like this, and then I'm like already kind of like
You're bad. Your
bad,
posture
right?
shot.
It's here. Oh, it's so good.
Yep, right from the hips. Then you can plant your feet. Then you adjust your feet to your balance point, right?
Balance point, exactly.
Okay, so what's a good takeaway? A good takeaway, I always say in front. What's in front? In front of my trail shoulder. There are players like take Freddie Couples. The right shoulder doesn't move, so he looks like he's out here, but that didn't move, right? Take Steve Stricker. The right shoulder's going back sooner, right? So the club's deeper, but they're both in front of him, right? If you get the arms and club behind you, you better get it. Now you got to get it in front of you, which means you're going to have to throw it early. But if I keep everything in front, like a medicine ball, I can rotate. Depending on when you rotate, you pour it on, right? It's in front. So that's a good takeaway, in front of your body.
In front of
not
your body.
inside, not outside, in front of your body. So get set up here. So give me a great takeaway. Let's keep the club head in front of your, good. So the club's head is right in front of your right shoulder. Right now, if we go a little further, now we're on plane, okay? Now let's get loaded. Let's pour it, get where we can really use the ground. We're on the glute, we're on the quad, okay? Then, now that's top, that's completion, right? I always say takeaway, completion, now transition. Slam that left foot in the ground and get the hands in the pocket. There's transition, right? Now turn the corner, pour the power on, push against the ground. There's impact. And by that time, everything's moving so fast, it should come up to a good balanced finish. A good finish a lot of times is a report card to a great golf swing.
Yeah.
A bad finish is a report card to a bad golf swing. So, those days when you find like, man, I'm really getting through it, I'm free and I'm balanced, the club's coming from the right place.
I always use your lingo, right? Look at the ball from the hips.
You like that?
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. And then the finish is the report card to a good golf swing.
Yeah.
Remember that, Kev.
At Forzak Golf, we take a lot of pride in having developed some of the best and most consistent golf swings on the planet. We do this through simplicity. Our Full Swing Masterclass will take you on a step-by-step, easy-to-understand process on how to get your golf swing better than ever. Join the many before you who've utilized our Full Swing Masterclass to take their games to the next level and beyond.